Karina, it's good to talk to you. You're finally here on now the Nobodies Are Somebody's podcast. Previously, you were a guest on episode 262 of Paradise City as a guest co-host. But now you're here for a good long chat on Nobodies Are Somebody's podcast. So first of all, welcome, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. It's great to be back talking to you again.
Yes, for sure, exactly. And I can't wait to dig into more about you. So let's do that. So for people who didn't listen to that episode and don't know who you are, just give me a brief, maybe a little intro about you, and we can kind of go for there because there's a few things that you touched on last time you were on Paradise City that I want to really dig into. So basically, who is Karina right now?
Yeah, no problem. So basically, I am the owner and I guess the CEO of Ragebreed, which is a global organization, kind of like a media hub, if you like, and a label. So we basically do, um, anything from TV, radio, magazine, all that kind of thing, to owning my own label. I'm also the singer and vocalist and songwriter of Lake of Dreams and Mind Lapse. Um, and Mind Lapse is obviously a metal band. Lake of Dreams is more kind of, I guess, a bit more softer. It's very, very different from Mind Lapse, so to speak. So,
Do
yeah.
you sing in all those
Do you,
projects
do
or
you,
just the Mind
I,
Lapse?
I, I do sing in all of those. Uh, in both, actually, in both bands. For the EP for Lake of Dreams, I actually did a lot of the guitar, so I write the music as well.
Okay.
I play guitar and everything. um, so yeah, it's very much so, um, whereby I write the music, and then whenever I play chords on guitar, I kind of feel the lyrics, if that makes sense, and then
Hmm.
I start singing, and it all works like that, really.
No, that's very, very cool. How did you get involved? Which band did you start with? Was it Lake of Dreams? Was it Mind Lapse? Did they kind of come together at the same time? How long have you had these bands going?
So basically, it's been, gosh, let me think. Mind Apps was my first band. So I got signed very young, Tony in their records. I was probably around 16.
Wow.
It's my first ever band was Neutral Shade, but we changed uh, the actual name to Mind Lapse, because it sounded more like a lipstick than a band. So,
A little bit. Only
so,
because you mentioned it. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we just kind of changed the name at the time, and I got signed very young, and I was with Haley in that records. Um, we were recording with John Mitchell, who is still my producer now, and he's been recording my voice since a teen. So he has recorded bands like and Shakira and Architects and bands like this. So yeah,
Wow.
it's very, very kind of cool. He's really good friends with Steve Wilson, who did the sound engineering of Opeth, and so very much prog genius, in my opinion.
Porcupine
He
Tree.
writes it.
That's the mastermind of Porcupine Tree, correct? Steve Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so he basically recorded the last two singles. So it started off with Mind Lapse, and we went through different subgenres during the time as well. Um, and yeah, it's just, it's been a journey, because obviously, from that point on, I explored different subgenres within metal music. And then Lake of Dreams stuff I was writing alongside, actually, but it wasn't music that I could really put in Mind Lapse because it was very, very chill. So it's kind of more like the Damnation, EP, like Opeth,
Okay.
and Anathema, the very chilled stuff, The Gathering, and the soft acoustic stuff that Lacuna Coil did as well. I really love Southern Isolation, Fawn, the Night Spirit. So it had a kind of a pagan sort of theme throughout the whole thing. So yeah, that's when I started writing the stuff. But then the movie idea came afterwards to amalgamate both projects into kind of like a concept film.
Wow.
Um, so that's how the film has started. So I'm currently writing the script. So all the songs of the Lake of Dreams, basically going to be the music in the film. And then when Kira goes to hell, that's all the Mind Lapse songs, because she meets a spirit in hell, and they tell her story. So you've got a lot of, I know, like death metal and black metal and stuff like that, and thrashy stuff. You've got doom, so it's all the underground
Wow.
genres when she meets each spirit. So yeah, it's going to be quite cool.
It is. It does sound very cool. I remember we talked on Paradise City. You had a lot of projects on the go. I think you mentioned that you were working on this as well. You have a lot on your plate. Then you rattled off so many things about Ragebreed itself that I just couldn't remember. I don't know how I can remember even what songs I played last week on my show, my one show, and you were rattling off things about Ragebreed and different projects and things you had going on. Like it was just in the forefront of your mind. It was amazing. You're always keeping busy by the sounds of
Mm.
it. Sorry, I'm losing video here. that's,
Yeah,
that's how crazy things are.
yeah, I was like, you see
Yeah,
going up.
I know exactly. Um, what I
Yeah.
want to ask you about real quick, then, too, I want to go back to something you said is about him recording your voice and being a part of your recording career since you were 15. He must have really been. He must have seen a lot of changes and a lot of ups and downs in your voice from that point. That's a long time. How did you first realize when you were that age or maybe younger that you wanted to sing, that you could sing, that's something you wanted to do on a regular basis? What was kind of the spark for that? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I've always been an entertainer. I mean, even at home when I was young, we used to do these family plays and things like that. And I was always singing in front of the mirror with a hairbrush as a microphone, and getting like
I still do that, except
leads in
that's where it
plays.
ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was mainly because I was always like, I don't know, I just always used to love music. I was always dancing in the living room, and I was always kind of, you know, just doing a lot of stuff which was aimed around music, whether it was singing, whether it was dancing. And I knew when I got my guitar, I think probably was when I started writing music myself, learning chords. Is this is really what I really want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And I used to play piano before that, and then when I got my guitar, that's where it would change, because that's where I discovered rock. And then from that point on, it was like, that's it. This is just, this feels completely right. And and considering, like, I think what you go through in your personal life also creates the I guess the dynamic of where you're going to put that, that the emotion that goes into what you write and everything. So there's a lot of things that happened in my personal life which kind of made me I guess appreciate rock and metal more, because it was very in touch with maybe the darker emotions. And whereas a lot of the light stuff was all happy, whereas, like, for me it was more of a healing thing. It was to get the anger out, and also touch on human experiences that people don't talk about. The fakeness of society, for example. Sometimes you get a lot of that, and people being ingenuine and deceptive and things like that. So it was the whole project, I guess, which I did, was really having a platform to feel and create and use my imagination as well. So it was wonderful because I could create characters. I mean, even with Mind Lapse and everything that we did, I created a concept project of Mind Lapse being forgotten memories of past lives. So, spirits telling their story through music. So that's kind of like, and so, with the album, which was a discography album we released, had all of that, all the subgenres and all the moods and everything. And then I think the EP Souls for Sinners was like the defining move, I think, for Mine Arts, because that's when our sound really matured. And then obviously Haunted and the Prophecy, where you see a very, you know, a lot of the writing that has developed into something a little bit more, I would say, more progressive and heavier, I would say, as well. But yeah, I know. I mean, it's always been part of my life. I couldn't imagine my life without music, because it's just such a it sort of defines who I am, So
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
mean,
feel
I
the same
think
way.
from a
Yeah.
very early age, yeah, like I always knew it just always felt right, and each album or each release, it just gets better and better, And John has literally been there on my journey, like from doing gothic rock to, stuff like My Ruin,
Wow.
like Rage Against the Machine, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
to stuff which is a lot more darker and progressive. He's gone through it with the heavy stuff, and certainly with the last single release with Rage of Masses and Hold Me by Lake of Dreams. I mean, the two are completely different.
Hmm.
Um, but he really enjoyed performing on that because he did all the music for me. I wrote the music, but he played it and he added like layers and things like that. And Rage of Masses, I think he really enjoyed unexpectedly. It was great because to see him do something that he isn't normally used to do, but doing such an amazing job at it, it's just incredible to me. It was such a fun experience because it was like, oh, can we? I remember this one point I was like, I need it to sound like a battle, I need it needs to have sort of a feel of a marching thing, and we got the drums to do what we needed it to do, and then adding atmospheres and keys, and oh, it was just an amazing experience. Like it always is when with him, because he pushes me. He's not like most engineers where they're just like record and that's it.
Yeah, press the
He's an
button and
engineer
go, and
that
you
will
come
get
up
the
with it.
best out.
He'll actually, work with you and try to pull things from you and maybe suggest some things, and not afraid to kind of maybe point you in
Yeah,
another direction or something, or give you another way of thinking.
yeah, and he will make sure that I get it done properly. Like he'll be like, do it again, do it again. There's no like, this is what I love people that are direct,
Mm.
because I think they're trying to get the best out of you, and sometimes that can be uncomfortable to hear feedback like that. But you're like, he's like, come on, I know you can do better than that, and he'll be like, I'm going to go for a walk, and when I get back, it's going to be perfect. And he
Yeah,
puts it on loop, and then I come back, and he was right because it was absolutely perfect. Like I got my growls to be so deep and demonic, and
nice.
for the mind lap stuff, and then got the singing as well was just epic. It was just so good. I just loved it. It just feels like home being in the studio. Just the best thing in the whole world for me. Like doing recordings and recording my music and then mixing it and then seeing what it sounds like at the end, and just amazing, absolutely amazing.
That's absolutely amazing for sure. Did you find it challenging at the start, and I guess the start of your career, when you were kind of, I guess, getting, as you mentioned before, your anger to get the sometimes difficult subject matter out? Did you have a hard time kind of pulling yourself into a place where you could do that and put that out there and be vulnerable about that?
Yeah, it was very weird because so in my early years, I went through like a lot of trauma, and to put it into sort of music was the only way that I could really heal from it. And it was uncomfortable. But I think to be an artist, you have to be able to face, especially in rock and metal, you have to be able to face it. You have to be able to face your pain, and sometimes that can be very uncomfortable. Other times it can be the most freeing thing because actually you're bottling all this up. And so when you're screaming into the microphone, it's like,
Right.
it's almost
It's
like
a
it's gone
therapy.
out of your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. I mean, I really believe that. I really believe art is a healer, regardless of what channel, that you use. But it's an interesting thing that you can go through so much in life, but music is like total healer. um and I think you have to be open and honest about the things you've gone through, and just and to be honest with you, I wrote a song called Finally Survive, and that was about where you have to face pain all the time, and but then you have to survive it and overcome. And when we played the White House in Derby, I had a girl who came, and she said, I bought your Finally Survive single, um, which had As I Do on it. I said, okay. And she goes, and I love both songs, but she says, but Finally Survive, she said, help me through cancer. And she said, that if you hadn't written that song, she says, like, it got to me so much that, you know, it helped me through the bad times with cancer, you know, like, and she goes, I listened to it every day. And she goes, slowly my cancer started getting better because I thought, yeah, I'm a survivor. I can survive this, even if every day I'm going through this. And to me, like, that is just, that was so, like, it was such a defining point for me, because it made me realize how much strength people gain from your music. It's not just about you releasing stuff, it's about how other people channel that music and use it to help them and help them heal. And if you can do that, then, you know, that's an incredible thing, you know. And to me, you know, that means more to me than anything, is to know that I've helped someone, you know, battle through something so serious, and my music helped them in some way, you know.
You're
For
right.
me, that's
Right. Yeah, because when you write that song, when you write those lyrics or the music, you're thinking it's very personal for you. It's very much about you and your situation, even if you're not completely direct always, or make it say, "Hey, I'm Karina," blah 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 blah. It's still a
yeah,
personal thing to you. But when it touches somebody else in that regard, and they tell you that feeling, I must not. You can't describe that probably, because it's just like, wow, it really. When I'm feeling, other people are too, and this helps somebody, not just myself. It must be an incredible feeling.
absolutely, yeah, it really was. And you know, when you talk to your fans, I mean, I know when we played the Coco in Camden, and this is supporting Napalm Death and Insomnium,
Mm.
and a few people came up to us in the bus and said, you know, this is like I really feel like your pain when you're singing on stage, and said, you know, it's not just a show, it's something that's very raw and comes from your heart. And that was cool, because it felt like, yeah, you know, they're recognizing authenticity, you know,
Yes.
which is fab, you know. And if it can move people, whether it's for healing or entertainment, or they're just really understanding you, I suppose, is a great thing, because it means that your music's speaking to people. And to me, that's, you know, a great honor, you know.
Absolutely. Does your family around you, did they support you? Do they get it? Do they get what you're trying to do? Have they from early on? Have they always been behind you? Or is this something they realized, oh my God, this is really something you've grown into?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question, because, you know, I've come from a, like, my dad's a doctor, and I come from a British Indian family, and you know, it was very off the wall of the direction that I chose. You know,
Right.
it's not normally
Yeah.
the the
Traditional
kind
sense,
of
not the
lifestyle
traditional
that you
career
take.
sense that you're expected to go
Yeah,
into, right?
exactly
Yeah.
this. Exactly this. And you know, in the beginning, I think I mean, they bought me my first guitar, so, you know, they were very supportive. And they basically helped me with, you know, if I needed, you know, as because obviously I was a teen at that point and I'd gone through something quite traumatic. So they were just happy that I had something to concentrate on. But I think ideally they probably would have, like, preferred if I had, like, was into, like, the normal kind of music and stuff.
Right.
But I think they
What's normal?
adapted very well. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I guess mainstream, what most people listen to,
What
whereas I
they
was kind
listen
of
to,
going,
what's accepted mainstream society, not this outside the box kind of thing, or nothing too extreme, I guess
yeah.
would be the word, right?
But true, but, you know, they've always been supportive. I mean, my mum, like, and this is honestly the truth. My mum has done the door for me at Rage Fest, in,
Really?
you know,
Wow.
yeah, like, and my dad has done. They've both come to my gigs. They've both, even when I hosted a club night, rock and metal club night, my mum did the door. My brothers have done the door on a 3-story club night, and you
Wow.
know, both my brothers are doctors, and so so. But, you know,
Doctor in the house.
they both, well, you know, our family do have. I mean, my cousins, you know, they're into rock music. My aunt's into goth, and also my brothers now, you know, I mean, they like their mainstream, but, you know, my other brother likes metalcore. um the other brother kind of likes a bit of Iron Maiden, some Opeth, you know, he likes bits and bobs of it.
Mm.
So, you know, we've grown up with it, really, because we all listened to it when we were growing up. So you know, I mean, they had no choice really because I was into it. So, but
when I listen to music,
yeah,
the
I mean,
neighbors listen to music. Everybody hears your music. When Karina plays her songs, everybody hears her songs.
mhm, that's it. I mean,
Makes sense.
you know, we'll talk about back in the day, you know, like when we were listening to Alice in Chains and Therapy and Metallica and bands like this, and he recognizes the stuff, and you know, we'll sometimes ask Alexa to play tunes that we both remember when we were young, and you know, the whole Nirvana thing, and you know, Soundgarden, you know, all that sort of stuff. So you know, it's kind of like it's part of my history. It's part of their history. My family have been nothing but supportive. I mean, when I played when I recorded the Lake of Dreams EP, um, they came to Reading with me. You know, they stayed in a hotel, and I stayed in a hotel, and we went for dinner. And so I think they've accepted that this is who I am. You know, but certainly I think, you know, it is a different direction, you know, to what they do. But I mean, you know, alongside it, I did accounts work, so I had a decent job, and I did like, you know, I mean, I do, you know, like things like finance management and you know, credit control management, and I got my CDMP and master data management as well. So I have got, you know, skill sets as well as what I do. So, you know, I have been doing jobs and things like that. But this is kind of like my authentic, real person of who I am. Do you know what I mean? Like this is I am
truly
a
what you want
creative
to be.
woman. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is who I am, you know, and I own my own label. I mean, I remember even when I was at school, you know, and college and things like that. And they said, oh, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up and all this sort of stuff, you know, like they do. And
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was just like, well, I want to be a singer. I want to be, you know, I want to have my own art published and my own poetry book published, and I want to own my own label, and that's what I want, you know, and I always knew what I wanted to do. There was never ever any, you know, mishaps on that. So I got my art published, and I got my books published, poetry books published, and I'm a singer, which was really interesting because after that conversation, I got offered a record deal with Honey and Their Records at the time, and and then I was a singer. You know, it was interesting, and then you know, a few years later, I'm building up Ragebreed, and I become a label. You know, and this is why I say to people, live out your dreams, because even if straight away, you know, it doesn't happen, over a period of time it will, as long as you stick to the plan, and as long as that's what you want, you know. That for me is really important, you know. It's like knowing truly what you really want out of life, and this is it, this is what I really want, you know. And even if you have to do side jobs, or even if you have to do other things as well, you know, as long as you know the root of who you are, and you know what you want to do in life. You know, I say this to my, you know, because I life coach, and I talk to my clients all the time about mindset. You know, you have to really want it. You can't just go into it thinking, oh, you know, I might do it. You've got to go in to say, I will do it,
You got
you
to
know,
commit.
because
You got to go full on,
you've got to commit
100%.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when you get all the knockbacks, you've got to get back up, because ultimately, if you really want it, you know, you'll do what it takes, you know, regardless of, because it's like that Rocky thing, you know, it's no matter how hard you get hit, you have to keep getting
Yeah.
back up, right?
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing. It's like you're not always going to appeal to everybody. You're not always going to have a smooth sail of things. You're going to have, there's so many billions of people in the world out there that will have an opinion on you, you know. Some people will love you, some people will hate you, some people won't really care, you know. But it's about what you feel about what you do, because ultimately that's what drives you, and then the people that support what you do believe in what you do, and it's an energy, actually. It's an energy force, to ensure that you have the right mindset to go for what you want to do. And once you have that mindset, it just flows, and you know that you're able to get through anything, you know, because you know that's what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does make total sense. And just to push through and keep going. That's what you've clearly done
Mm,
in your life.
mm,
I do want to talk to you about what's in the backdrop. If you're watching the video behind you, of course, Ragebreed is a massive part of your story. That's how we connected and how you've connected to so many people. Just
mm,
for a few minutes, if you can, I know you've mentioned a couple of times, and you certainly don't have to say anything or don't say anything you don't want to, but you did
mm,
mention some things you've gone through in the past, some traumas in the past, things you've had to use to kind of turn it into some of your art, but you've had to overcome. Did you want to touch
mm.
on anything about what kind of things that have brought you to where you are now, just to kind of close the gap on that?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, well, when I went through a trauma when I was very young, I survived a sexual attack, if you like, and it was very, very traumatic. I went through a lot of stuff in my childhood and my teenhood, I suppose. I dealt with death at a very young age, friends dying and things like that.
Mm.
Um, and then I went through a lot of harassment and discrimination and bullying and all this kind of stuff as well growing up. And there was a lot of things that happened. I had a lot of betrayal from a lot of people, lots of people lied about who I was. I was getting rumors spread about me, things that I hadn't done that they were trying to, it was like promoter rivalry and stuff like that.
Right.
But
Mm.
there were people there that I was close to that totally lied about me. And that was very difficult because it was like I'd put trust in people that had really hurt me, and seeing that publicly was very hard. But then also trying to fix it was difficult because they'd spread so much rubbish that so many people had believed it. I had to try and put the truth out there, which is why we had Ragebreed Against Bullying as well, for people that had gone through similar things to what I had.
Right.
Um, and so I overcome a lot, and I basically channeled everything I'd gone through into music and to build and use that energy as fuel, not to destroy me but to make me, because actually everything is energy, in my opinion. Everything is, I mean, even like scientifically it is. So when people throw that energy at you and they're being shady or whatever and lying, it was almost like viewing it as like a brick that I was catching and then building it with it,
Mm.
because
Wow.
everything becomes, you're building an empire, you're building your whole thing, and that just became art. It was very abstract. It became art. It became, right, okay, this is something else I have to handle. Right, I'm going to lay it down as a foundation, and I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to help other people that have gone through what I've gone through. And then all of a sudden, everything has purpose to it. Like, everything that I'd gone through almost had a sort of like a purpose, because other people were coming to me saying, I've gone through this. Can I share my story? And I was like, yeah, of course you can. And so then I started interviewing other people that had gone through things like I had. And the next thing I know, I have an article for the magazine. I have content for the TV. I have content for radio.
Mm.
And I'm also helping other people, which then brought me to Ragebreed Mind, Body and Spirit, where then I was able to coach people because I'd gone through it and overcome it. So it was about learning mindset. And so everything that happened to me didn't almost become, it hurt at the time, obviously.
Mm.
But then it also became part of my journey to make me stronger and wiser. And it also gave me purpose to help other people. And I think if you can channel something so difficult in your life and gone through the things that you have, um, because certainly I battled a lot of illness as well when I was younger, and also now with my neck and everything. But like I say, you can either dwell in it or you can use it to um, help other people.
Mm.
And if you can do that, then everything has purpose. Everything is energy. Everything becomes what you make it. So, there's going to be people that build with you, and there's going to be people throwing the bricks. Do you see my point?
Yes, and you just
You'll
take
always
those
get
bricks and you keep building. Like you said, you take that their wasted energy and using it to positive energy for you in sort of a way.
exactly. It's all about channeling the right.
Yeah.
It's turning energy into something else.
Yeah. And you've definitely risen above that and look at what you've done and look how you've grown and look what you've accomplished, right? I mean, it's not for them, it's
Mm,
for you. And it's the success that
yeah.
just, you take it and make it your own. So is that where kind of Ragebreed comes into your life as far as it's not now, did you or get me straight on that? Did you found that or that was something you
Yeah.
joined early on?
No,
The
rage
radio.
breed's always been mine. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's always been something that I mean, before I was married to my guitarist back in the day, and but we grew apart. We're still friends, there's no bad blood or anything. We just grew apart.
Right.
And but yeah, I mean, he used to obviously help me with the things that I used to do, because we put on tours for Candlelight Records bands. So we put on the tour for Insomnium. We were the first UK tour in England. We put on
Wow.
the tour for Omnium Gatherum, and that was their first UK tour in
Really?
England. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So
Amazing.
Mindlap supported Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum. Like there was a Leicester band that we put with them as well. So yeah, I mean, we've done quite a lot with the bigger bands as well, because we had Cancer headlining that tour as well, and then the last date was Napalm Death at the Coco, so that was kind of cool. Um, yeah, I mean, it was the journey of what we've done. I mean, it started from '96, and we worked with a lot of major bands, big bands, and some sort of underground bands, and from the smaller labels. But we certainly have a very big journey, I guess, the big
Yeah.
timeline from '96 to what we've done now. I mean, you look at the magazines, and we're working with some of the biggest bands, and and some of the biggest labels and PR companies, and it's wonderful to be able to do that, because it's not just always about the big bands. It's about helping the smaller bands, the unsigned bands that
Other people to
deserve
grow and get to that
actually.
level.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And seeing them so happy, when the article comes out and they're in a magazine. I mean, I remember when I was really young, and the first time I was put in a magazine, and I was jumping around and really excited. And
That
same
must be
with radio,
amazing.
when you get these bands that are underground and stuff, and you play their music, certainly it's so happy for them, and if you can bring some happiness to people's lives in such a strange climate we're living in,
A
you know
little bit.
it's
Yeah.
it's all about that. It's all about the intent is always for good things. Basically, the
Hmm.
intent is always there for to help people shine and be authentic to their real selves, and to do the things that they enjoy doing.
I just realized this when you said 1996. We're obviously recording in 2026. It's your 30-year anniversary. Do you have some big plans, something you can share, something to celebrate? That's a huge milestone.
Yeah, maybe I might do a video or something. So potentially, and I might do that this year actually, and maybe get everybody who is in Ragebreed to do a little video,
I guess I got to
and
jump in that. I
maybe
finally got to make sure I get it in time this time. I know I missed a couple of the Christmas ones and whatever. I finally got to get my hands on doing that for sure. I want to be a part of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be great, just to have everyone on there, do their little bit and get everyone on there to, and just see what, how they've enjoyed Ragebreed, maybe, I don't know, something like this, and do an anniversary potentially.
Yeah, if you could get somebody or people that have been around since 96, I mean, that might be harder to do, but people who can say they've
Mm,
actually been there from the ground up from where it's come, because the 30 years, 1996, the internet was just we were just kind of getting to know what that was. And we were just getting to know this big thing called email and these websites, www.com, and how much
yeah.
your brand and how much Ragebreed has changed and adapted through that it blows my
Mm,
mind out how much you've had to go through to see it all. You don't see it as you
mm.
go through it day by day, but looking back 30 years to today, it must be incredible to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, the strange thing is, it probably wouldn't have grown as big as it has if COVID hadn't have happened, because I would never have considered a magazine because we were only doing live events back then.
Right. What could
So
you do?
strangely enough,
Yeah.
COVID happened, and then all of a sudden we were indoors, we had nothing to do, and we decided to do the magazine, radio, and that's how that happened, you know. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh, I might as well release my own music again, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Good time.
it was just something, you know. I thought, well, and then all of a sudden I have all these other avenues and channels, and it's amazing. It really is. It's I think it's the people that make it, though. It's the people that, you know, like all of you guys, you know, the DJ team, and
Mm.
it's the affiliates and the people that put their time and effort into it. And you know, it's done from real passion, and it's done from, you know, you can tell that people really enjoy what they do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's the beauty of it, I think, is it's because people are really enjoying what they do. It's not, you know, just centered around what other people's expectations are. It's just, you know, this is what I love to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm enjoying doing it, you know. And
Absolutely.
that's for me is important. Yeah.
We got about just over 2 minutes left. I want to get time before it cuts off, just to give people an idea of where they can connect with Ragebreed, yourself, your
Mhm.
bands, Mind Lapse, Lake of Dreams, everything. You got new music out there. Give me
Mhm.
a quick little notification of where people can connect with you as far as all the stuff you got going on.
Okay, cool. So, first website, www.ragebreed.biz. That's the main site that people can go to. If you want to see, have a look at what we have in our merch store, it's ragebreedstore.net. If you wanted to check out Mindlapse, it's mindlapse.net, and lakeofdreamsband.com. And then if you want to check out any of the services that we do, the paid for ones, you can go to ragebreed.bigcartel.com, where you can buy the Lake of Dreams EP, for example, and, you know, different services that we offer, and my poetry books, and lots of different things there. So yeah, you can contact me through these means, and you know, yeah, that's about it, really, I think.
No, that's amazing, Karina. I really appreciate you opening up and being a part of this, and your candor and your honesty, and just great conversation. I look forward to more. I look forward to being a guest again on Paradise City. If I can be a guest on one of your shows, I mean, it's about time I return the favor. I love to do that too. Anything I can do to contribute. You know, I love Ragebreed. I love what you
Yeah.
do. I love your stuff. So we can definitely keep. Can't wait to do more in the future as we keep going to the next 30 years at least.
Yeah, definitely. And we will be interviewing our DJs too, because we've got something called International Global Metal Alliance, which will be coming soon. So it will be celebrating all the DJs and all the different bands and brands around the world.
Nice. Well, you know where to find me. Get a hold of me.
Will do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karina.
No problem. Take care.